Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for supporting me, guys. Boxing has been booming in 2023, with some of the biggest matches possible coming together and some of the world's best boxers elevating their game to new levels. From Gervonta Davis drilling Ryan Garcia with a fight-ending body shot, to Terence Crawford and Naoya Inoue elevating themselves to the undisputed #1 and 2 pound-for-pound fighters in the sport, to new champions across several weight classes. The year has been as good for boxing as any in recent memory. As with any sport, there is an unavoidable desire to ask, what's the next? For some of the sport's biggest stars, we know who they'll face in their next trip to the ring. For others, they are ideas but nothing set in stone. Gervonta Davis, trainer suggests IT Cruz rematch the next. Davis picked up a high-profile win early in the year, stopping Ryan Garcia with a left hook to the liver. Davis has become one of the sport's biggest stars and has done so while not yet fighting most of the top talent in the division, and with most of his recent fights either being for secondary titles or no title on the line at all. A fight with Gracie isn't exactly the most in-demand option for Davis, especially considering he already beat Gracie in a competitive fight that saw Davis forced to fight one-handed because of a hand injury. Davis trainer Calvin Ford recently said that we're just waiting for a contract to come across for their next fight, before suggesting it would be Pitbull Cross. Gracie has been angling hard for the rematch and just cleared a very tricky hurdle with a split decision win over an awkward Giovanni Cabrera in late July. Ryan Garcia, a possible world title showdown with Rolando Romero. Losing to Davis were certainly a career setback for Garcia, and now he has the chance to prove he has the resiliency to bounce back. Garcia has called for a fight with Rolly Romero, which Romero has talked up as a huge fight. There are obvious reasons Garcia would target Romero, mainly that Romero's WBA super lightweight title appears one of the easiest to take in the sport. Romero was getting thoroughly handled by Ismael Barboso in May, when the fight was stopped during Romero's first stretch of meaningful offense by universally derided TKO stoppage. Romero has looked very vulnerable in recent outings, and as someone hunting for their first world title, eyeing him makes sense. Romero somewhere based it off on his talk of his first title defense coming against Garcia, by saying first he has to handle WBA mandatory challenger O'Hara Davis. Given Romero's deficiencies, it could well be Davis that Garcia is trying to fight in his next outing. There have not really been any other rumors around Garcia, who has talked about not needing tune-up fights, though he did suggest one with recently crowned UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley. Boxing and MMA are two different sports, and if you need a reminder, let me know. I'll gladly do a tune-up for my return fight. American top fighter Shakur Stevenson and Dominican underdog Edwin La Grande de los Santos agreed to fight on November 16 in Las Vegas, United States. The vacant WBC World Lightweight title will be at stake. The fight will be the headliner of the top-ranked boxing show. The 26-year-old Stevenson was supposed to fight the undefeated top prospect Frank Martin, but he suddenly refused to fight without voicing the reason, and the 23-year-old De Los Santos turned out to be the next available fighter in the WBC ranking. The southpaw from the Dominican Republic received his only defeat by a split decision in a fight against William Foster in January 2022. He spent the last year calling Shakur to fight in this tone. Remember that I am a danger, Stevenson. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.